The loss to Queen's Park on Sunday has sparked outrage from the Rangers fans, and rightly so, demanding immediate change from within the club after a disastrous season so far. However, in some huge news, an emergency meeting has been held at the club. We will discuss this in today's video, whilst going over all the latest Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video. So, as always, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. But first, Philippe Clement is expected to face the media for the first time since the Scottish Cup exit to Queen's Park later this week. The Rangers boss faced an inquest over the Shot Cup loss at Ibrox in his post-match interview with silence from Rangers in the days since. The result has piled pressure on the Rangers manager, with supporters waiting outside the stadium to make their feelings clear to the Belgian boss. Players were booed off the park after the upset, with supporters furious at the result and nature of the performance. Rangers now face a trip to Tynecastle this weekend, with Clement and his charges set to go under the microscope, with a reaction necessary. Before then, Rangers will hold a press conference, as they do each week ahead of matches. Clement will address the media at around 1:30 p.m. on Friday, February 14th. For example, Clement's press conference began at 2:30 p.m. on Friday last week, ahead of the Scottish Cup tie against Queen's Park. Cyril Dessers was the player last week. It's understood Clement will not be dismissed by Rangers this week, which means he will be expected to field questions from the media in a press conference on Friday. Now, in some huge Rangers news, an emergency meeting has been held, as the Rangers Fan Advisory Board have issued a message to club chiefs over the strength of fan sentiment after the Scottish Cup loss to Queen's Park. Minutes of the meeting have yet to be released, but are expected to be made public in the near future. The FAB have confirmed a wide range of club issues and concerns were discussed at the meeting last week. The group then contacted the club in the wake of the Shot Cup exit on Sunday, as supporters were left furious over the loss to Queen's Park, with Philippe Clement under huge pressure. A chorus of boos could be heard at full time, with a number of fans making their feelings clear to Clement as he left Ibrox hours later, flanked by security staff. A Rangers Fan Advisory Board update read, "Last week, we held a planned meeting with Patrick Stewart and members of the leadership team to discuss a wide range of club issues and concerns. We expect the minutes from that meeting to be available very shortly. Furthermore, we have been in contact with the club since last weekend's disastrous Scottish Cup performance to convey the strength of fan sentiment following that unacceptable result." What do you make of this? Do you think much was discussed of interest? Let me know your thoughts down below. Before we get into the next story, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Thank you, let's get back into the video. Giovanni van Bronckhorst has ruled himself out of the running to make an emotional return to Feyenoord as manager. The former Rangers boss was one of the strong favourites to replace axed Danish boss Brian Priske, who was fired last week with the Rotterdam club, a distant fifth in the Eredivisie table and 12 points behind leaders Ajax. Van Bronckhorst has been out of football since he was sacked by Besiktas earlier this season. He is a legend at Feyenoord after 2 spells as a player at De Kuip, and he also managed them to a Dutch title and 3 national cups, and would have been a popular choice to return. But the 50-year-old made it clear he isn't interested in going back. He said, "I cherish all the beautiful moments I have experienced with Feyenoord, but for me, returning as manager is not an option. Have I been called yet? And it is not a possibility anyway. Feyenoord need a period of stability, not only with the players, but also from inside the club. When things are not going well, there is always a lot of unrest at Feyenoord." Van Bronckhorst won 5 trophies as a player at Rangers and guided the Ibrox club to the 2022 Scottish Cup and took them to the Europa League final 3 days earlier, when they lost in a penalty shootout to Eintracht Frankfurt. Could this mean that the Dutchman could potentially return to Ibrox if Clement is relieved of his duties? Obviously a long shot, but the former Rangers man has probably been the best manager we've had since Gerrard, by a long shot. He was arguably removed from his position unjustly, which did anger a lot of fans, especially after witnessing the disaster which was Michael Beale's run. Would you take Gio back? Let me know down in the comments. In other news, Heart of Midlothian will be looking to emulate Queen's Park's heroics by defeating Rangers when they go head-to-head this weekend. Rangers face Scottish Cup 5th round humiliation at the hands of the second-tier side last Sunday, losing 1-0, with the Ibrox club since going silent as angry supporters demand managerial change. Hearts host Rangers 7 days on from one of Scottish football's greatest ever shocks, and their boss Neil Critchley is expecting to face a team who are determined to bounce back, creating the prospect of an exciting Premiership encounter. Critchley experienced a tough start to life at Hearts, with his squad battling at the wrong end of the division, leading to early calls for his head from some punters. But the 46-year-old has since overseen an upturn in fortunes as Hearts go into this clash 8 games unbeaten in all competitions. Previewing the upcoming meeting with Rangers, the Hearts head coach said, "You could say that makes it more difficult for us because they'll obviously be looking for a response from that game. Take that game out of the equation, and I know Rangers and their supporters won't do that, but they've got excellent players and they were in a really good run of form. So we know whenever you play Rangers, it's a tough game. However, we're at home, we get the energy and passion of our supporters behind us, and we're in good form ourselves. It's got the makings of a really good game. You learn from every game that you play. You look at the good things you've done and can you replicate them and do them even better, also not forgetting that you want to be yourself. We are at home, we want to play to our principles of the team that we want to see on the pitch, be a Hearts team, play with passion, play with endeavour and commitment. You know you're going to have to do that against Rangers. We're going to have to be good without the ball, but also sometimes the best form of defence is to attack. We want to try and always be the dominant team and take the game to the opposition. It doesn't always work like that. We didn't start particularly well against Kilmarnock recently, but we still found a way to win. So we have to be adaptable. Rangers will be looking to bounce back from their defeat last weekend, and they will want to start fast as well. On paper, it makes for a really exciting game. Reflecting on Hearts' recent resurgence, Critchley told Sky Sports, "Maybe some of the indifferent performances or scores results that we had early on that actually helped the group to come together, I think we've grown. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time just to develop that trust between each other, but I think the belief in the group has definitely grown. We can win games in different ways, and we're unbeaten and in good form at the moment. Everything's up for grabs at the moment, really. We've spoken about that as a group. We've got 8 league games left before it goes to the split. Our aim is to try and be in the top 6 and then try and push up the league as far as we can. We're still in the Scottish Cup, obviously, making it to the quarter-finals, so we want to go as far as we can in that competition. So we still have lots to play for. It's crazy to think that nearly 3 years ago, we were in the Europa League final and were millimetres from clinching the trophy, and now we have 7th place Hearts hosting us, thinking they can take 3 points away from us. It really shows how damaging the people who run the club have been over the past few years. We should have built on our unbeaten title win, an insane European run, but we didn't. We've gotten weaker and weaker as the years go on. Who is to blame? The board, the manager, the players? All of them. As Chris Boyd mentioned after the Queen's Park game, Clement is always quick to use the excuse of having no money, but we still throw away silly games where we are the substantially richer team, like against Queen's Park. So that points to the manager being a big issue. But regardless of tactics and setup, the players on the pitch on Sunday should have walked past a group of championship players. No disrespect to the players at all, but how many of the Queen's Park team are full-time employed by the club, and how many have other jobs on the side? That shows the levels between the clubs, yet somehow we couldn't beat them. But what are your thoughts and how do you think it will go on Sunday? Let me know down below. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.